He just stood behind me with his hands crossed and was rocking, and no matter where I went, he just stood behind me the whole time. I honestly think that they just didn't like the fact that we were a mixed-race couple with a child. Just the way that they were looking at us from the beginning. I was going to leave the parking lot, and I looked right, and I looked left, and when I looked left, I just saw blue lights coming down the road. They just blocked us from leaving the parking lot, and they just jumped out of the car, and they started screaming, "Get out of the car, get out of the car." He went to start handcuffing me. I said, what are you doing? He said, "You're under arrest for DUI." And the other officer, Officer Levitt, started screaming at Twan and just started macing him, beating him. He was using a slapjack, which is a legal weapon.
I began to want to, protect myself. That's a natural instinct when you're being beaten, to try to fend myself off and everything. But, at the point I was like you said, you help us. You help us.
Another police officer that was on duty at the time, he tried to tell him to stand down, what are y'all doing? He's handcuffed, and the officers, they started screaming at him. And he said, "No, you're a commanding officer, please stand down." And they just went.
We could have easily been killed. Simple as that. Later we found out that in this area, in this town right here, this had been happening quite a bit. Several other people had already been to the mayor. Several other people had already been to the chief of police. Several other people had already brought it to their attention that they knew that it had happened. And
just cover it all up.
It was just all covered up. Jump up, Mark.
I felt so strongly about Twan's situation. I knew what was going on in Montgomery, and we watched what was going on in Montgomery, and for a lot of other reasons. Some of the other cases weren't prosecutable. Twan's was, and he's a fellow who's worked all his life, no criminal record, that got assaulted by white police officers. I know we're going to be successful, but it took a considerable amount of effort and money that you can't really have on a private basis for every wrong that happens. And so it's important that the people get together to prevent this from happening again.
This could very well happen to anyone at any time. Things like this still go on around the state and around, the nation.
What would you say to people around the country about what they can do, maybe to take action in their towns?
figure out what's going on inside your police station. You know, go to the town meetings. A lot of these people here in this town, they was complaining about stuff, but it's open meeting on Tuesday night. They should have had them piling out the door, sitting over here, piling out the door saying, all these complaints, what are y'all doing about it as a police chief? What are y'all doing about it as a mayor? We don't want this to happen here. I feel proud that somebody stepped in to say, hey, it's not right, you know.